So today we are going to talk about the future of digital marketing in India. And very excited to be here, very excited to be in Mumbai. And today I have a lot of interesting stats which is going to change your perspective of how you see digital marketing in the context of India. So before we get started, how many of you are here from my email list and from the digital marketing group? Fantastic. Glad to see so many people here on my invitation. So let's get started. So before we get into having a look at digital marketing and the digital marketing state in India, so don't worry about taking pictures of the screen. I will be sharing this presentation on the group and on the email list. So before we get started, I would like to tell you a little bit about how I got into digital marketing. I think many of you know already, but we'll just quickly go through because this also kind of sets the stage for how the digital marketing scenario has been changing in India and how we got here and where we were. So before that, a small thing. How many of you remember this? So that's how I got started. And 2005, got my first internet connection, which was 56.6 kbps internet dial-up connection. And how many of you here have browsed internet on the dial-up connection? Pretty much everyone, right? Fantastic. And those of you who have not heard this sound, you come from a different era. We are like the older generation. But yeah, so the sound of the internet, and that's when I got started. I used to browse the internet, used to wake up at 5 a.m. because before 6 o'clock, it's cheaper because you had to pay for the internet as well as the phone call because the internet came through a local call. Right, so that's how I got started working on Yahoo Messenger, Hotmail, and just being very inquisitive on how this whole thing works. Fortunately, had a Pentium 3 PC at that time, which I was using. 2006, I created my first HTML website, and that was to go ahead and so we will have a video of the entire talk being uploaded on YouTube as well. So no need to trouble yourself taking a video. I created a website for my dad's construction company called DB Builders and learned some basic HTML, registered my first domain name on Yahoo, configured the name servers and put up a HTML file. And at that time, if you remember, we had a bunch of scripts where you could go ahead and put a script where if you move the mouse, the name of the site will follow like a snake. So I was playing around with things like that. Right now, nobody uses that. It's very cheesy. But if it is like Christmas, you put a script and you have like a snowfall on the website. So that's what I was doing at that time. 2007, I started trying out affiliate marketing and started making some money. The first $25 I made was from Commission Junction. And how many of you remember Chip and Digit magazines? Many people. So I used to buy Chip and Digit magazines mostly for the CDs and the free games, free trial games it used to give. But then one magazine was lying around, I was reading, and I learned about Google AdSense for the first time. And then I was like, oh, maybe you can do something online and make money. And that's how it started. And at that time, my dream was to buy a Moto Razr phone because that was the iPhone at that time. I had a Nokia 1100. So I thought that if I end up making $300 from AdSense, I could buy myself a Moto Razr phone. So that's how I started. I created a Blogspot blog. I learned about blogs, created a Blogspot blog, signed up for AdSense, put my AdSense code, and I knew that you cannot click on your own ads. So I went to different IP addresses, asked my friends to click, clicked it from my school system and everything. And obviously it got banned after it reached $100. From that time, I was trying to, make some money online, and I got placed in an IT company in Bangalore at that time. They gave me an offer for 2.75 lakhs per annum. but they did not call me until 2009. 2008, I graduated. 2008, I started my first motorcycle blog, bikeadvice.in. And bikeadvice.in, I basically installed a WordPress blog, signed up for another Google AdSense account on my dad's name, put AdSense codes, and properly started blogging because I had plenty of free time after graduation. And until 2009, I did not have anything to do. I was at my home, did not have any responsibilities in terms of financial responsibilities. So I kept blogging. I wrote my first article on August 6, 2008, more than 10 years back now, thinking about it. So I wrote a 500-word article. This was a motorcycle from my dad's friend's showroom. So I just took a test ride, took a picture, published an article, and that's where proper digital marketing started, and that's where I started, learning digital marketing. At that time, it was not even called digital marketing. It was just called internet marketing. The term did not come into the corporate side, As I kept blogging for 6 months, some traffic started coming in, good traffic started coming in. I put AdSense codes, was making at least comfortably $200, $300 a month from my blog, just using Google AdSense. I was ranking for all the keywords for the different motorcycle terms, like Royal Enfield 350cc review, and all the review terms I was ranking. And since I had a very good online presence, I got an invitation from China to visit a motorcycle trade exhibition. And this person who is standing next to me, she was responsible for inviting journalists from different countries. She invited journalists like the editor-in-chief of motorcycle.com from US and big publications across the globe. From India, I got invited because probably there were other motorcycle publications like Autocar, Bike India, but they did not have an online presence. And since I had an online presence and since I optimized my blog well for the search engines, I got invited, and I had a completely sponsored trip to China. It was an amazing experience. The first time I experienced the power of internet, going beyond sitting at home and trying to do something and making money. And when I got the invitation, it was like Chinese character subject line, and it said we will provide a round trip ticket and everything. And I thought it was spam. I almost deleted it, but I replied it anyway, and then they sent me the flight tickets, and it turned out to be real. And I had a wonderful experience in China at a very young age, where I was a no one pretty much. So this is editor-in-chief of motorcycle.com. If anyone is into motorcycles, you might know him. He is very popular on YouTube. Still, till today, he reviews all the Ducatis and BMWs. And then I got opportunity to test ride Chinese motorcycles, Chinese food and everything. 2011, I clocked 13.7 million page views on my blog. 4.4 lakh unique users on an entire year, and this is just doing nothing. Kept publishing 2 articles a day, 3 articles a day, and just on a WordPress blog, nothing else. Sitting at home, I had a few freelance writers as well, and all of us used to just keep publishing, and we used to get like 20 to 30,000 sessions on a single day. That's how crazy it was. 2012, we went to the Auto Expo. We got media pass for the Auto Expo, and I published an article, and I published like 12, 13 articles on a single day, where a lot of new motorcycles were launched, and we clocked 46,000 sessions on a single day. And till today, this is like the highest number I have seen in analytics for one of my own web properties. The idea I'm bringing here is that the internet has kind of gone into an evolution, and I had an early mover advantage at that time. Had a YouTube channel and published YouTube videos, just went to the Auto Expo, took videos of motorcycles and just published it on YouTube. It used to get like, lakhs of views. Till today, it is getting, it is having a lot of subscribers. And I ended up selling Bike Advice in 2012 because I wanted to move on to other things. This blogging journey was very good. I got a good offer for an exit. I sold to a person in Delhi, and I wanted to move on because at that time the competition started catching up. All the offline publications, they started having online presence, and I was not a registered journalist with, you had to be you have to have a PIB card, Press Information Bureau card, to be a registered journalist. I was not a registered journalist, and the blogging space started getting too crowded. So I thought beyond this, it is difficult to grow the site. And I was also not able to sell anything on my site directly to my blog readers. So I had to advertise other motorcycles on my site, and the only source of revenue was Google AdSense. It kind of started saturating at around $2,000 a month in revenue with Google AdSense, and it did not go beyond that. I was not able to grow beyond that. And I decided that either I raise money for this site and grow the site, or I had a good offer, so I took the offer and I sold the blog. And 2013, I started working as a digital marketer, started blogging about digital marketing. I started my blog, Digital Deepak, which many of you know here. 2013 to 2016, worked with many companies as a digital marketer. And 2016 to now, I run the digital marketing agency called Pixel Track. And now everything we do has come under the Pixel Track brand. And we have online digital marketing courses. So how many of you have subscribed to one of my courses? Okay. I hope the courses are useful. What do you think? Yes? So did a TEDx talk on blogging. You should definitely check it out. It has almost 200,000 views now. And we do digital marketing corporate training. We did one for Mercedes-Benz recently. And these are the clients that we are working with and we have worked with in the past as part of our digital marketing agency. Please join the Learn Digital Marketing group if you have not already. So this is the largest digital marketing group in India right now on Facebook. Just Google Learn Digital Marketing and you would be able to see the group there. So enough of my story. I just wanted to give you a short introduction about where I come from and how I got into the digital marketing industry so that you can relate to it and maybe provide a little bit of motivation as well. So I'm a civil engineer. I'm not a techie. I'm not a coder or a programmer. I took civil engineering because my dad has a construction company, but there was not much work. And somehow just by trying to make money online, trying to make money with blogs, I got into the whole digital marketing industry, and today there is quite good traction, but I've completely enjoyed what I've done, and India has come a long way in terms of digital marketing, and that's what we are going to have a look at. We are going to kind of have like a zoomed out view on digital marketing because today we don't have enough time or we don't have enough bandwidth to talk about AdWords, Facebook ads, SEO, and all those things, because that is something I talk about in my blog. You can read my blog. You can check out my courses. So I thought instead of going into the nitty-gritties of the actual digital marketing thing, which is too much talked about, what I observed was not many people are talking about the zoomed out view, and being almost like an evangelist for digital marketing in India, it might be surprising to hear it from me, but I'm also going to talk about traditional marketing, and I'm going to talk about the reach of digital marketing as a whole from a zoomed out perspective. So this is how digital has evolved in the past 10 years. 2005, when I got started, and when we were in the dial-up era, the internet penetration in India was 2.4%. It's very less, and few years before 2005, it was as low as 1%. So whoever has been on dial-up internet, consider yourself very lucky, because we were a very small percentage of India who had access to internet, and we got started from there. And today, we have come up to, so this is still 2017, we don't have stats for 2018, but let's assume we now have around 40 to 42% of the Indian population having internet access. And this is a great thing. And obviously, many players have been a contributing factor to this success, including credits to internet companies like BSNL, who actually got dial-up internet even to tier 2, tier 3 cities. And today we have Jio, and we have a very different telecom industry in India, which is much different from all over the globe. And because of that, we have almost come up to like 40% internet penetration. Very developed countries, European countries, have as much as 90 to 95%. US has around 85% the last time I checked. So we have still a long way to go. And that is the idea that we are going to get clarity on today. So this is how the internet access is split. You have young men, college students contributing to more than 50% of the internet usage. At the same time, all these statistics looks very nice, but we should not get overexcited. And a lot of startups and a lot of investors have got overexcited about this whole internet wave in India. And even though we say 40% of the Indian population has access to internet, it is much less than that. It is 1/5 which actually matters, and I will tell you why. And when you think about that, the opportunity is still even greater in the next 10, 20 years. So this will give you some clarity. So what is the real size of the market for digital in India is what we are going to have a look at. And this is a very interesting statistic I pulled out from a Medium article written by a venture capital investor. And he kind of did some analysis. See, what is the real market size out there? We say that, okay, India is a second largest country in the world in terms of population. We have 1 billion people and 40% of the people have internet. This is a very high level stat, and sometimes, to be honest, it is also a bit misleading. So India 1, India 2, India 3 is a categorization to look at India from a different perspective, because India is a very different country. In most of the countries, you have one language throughout the country. And India is a country with so many different languages. And to connect all of us together, and because of the British influence, we have learned English, and all of you here know English, but we actually fall into a very small subset within our country called India 1. And that is how this particular statistician has categorized it. And to get a clearer perspective, what we are going to do is that we are going to compare India 1, India 2, India 3 with different countries. So basically think about 3 different countries within India. And now let's look at India 1. So India 1 has around 23 to 25 million households. And if you consider around 4 to 5 people in every household, the total population of India 1 is only 110 million, which is actually less than 10% of our country's population. Around 80% of India 1 lives in tier 1 cities, and they can communicate in English, they can understand English, they can use apps and websites where English is there. So the per capita income of this category is around 5 lakhs per annum, and it's not the minimum, it is the average. So if you are earning 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs per annum, and then there are enough people earning like 2 lakhs per annum, 1.5 lakhs per annum, average is 5 lakhs per annum, and the GDP of this segment is $1 trillion. And when you look at this segment of India, and when you look at what country is similar to that, we have Mexico. We have 130 million population, $1.1 trillion total GDP, and we have $9,300 per capita income. So most of the startups that you see today, including, let's say, Ola, Flipkart, Amazon, and whoever mostly operates with an English interface, and even if you are doing something, if you are working in an organization, whatever product or service that you are focusing on, or if you have your own startup where you are having a product or service, you are not actually targeting a country with a population of 1 billion people and where there are 400 to 500 million internet users. You are actually targeting only around 100 to 110 million. And think about being in a country like Mexico is where you are, because India 2 and India 3, there is something called the English tax, where they don't have English proficiency and you are not able to actually reach that market at all. And this clarity is very important to have the right strategy when we are doing. So because people did not get these numbers right early on, a lot of investors, when the whole internet wave started happening, got a little bit overexcited also. So if you look at Mexico and if you look at India, the Mexico's total startup venture capital market versus India, you can imagine that India is obviously over-invested in startups. And if you can put a number to it, how much do you think it is? Can anyone throw a number? Anyone? Like 2x, 3x, 5x, what do you think it is? 3x. So it's 22 times. Imagine India 1 is actually smaller than Mexico, but Indian market is 22 times over invested than Mexico when it comes to startup venture capital. And thoda over, like too much digital India ho gaya. Like, people got too excited. So, my job is to actually, being an evangelist of digital marketing is not to expand a lie. I want to get back to reality. I want to see how digital is actually operating. So when you look at India 2, India 2 also has a population of around 100 to 110 million, but here the per capita income is just $3,000. And when you look at the most of the India 1 people, 80% of this India 1 population who can communicate proficiently in English, basically all of us. We live in a country within our country, and basically all of us live in tier 1 cities. Probably we can fit ourselves into like the top 10 cities in India. And there is a huge amount of population which is supporting this India 1, who are like our auto walas, our security, the vegetable vendor outside. And a good percentage of them actually fit inside India 2. So India 2 has a population of like, let's say, 104 million, but the per capita income average is only around 1.5 to 2 lakhs per annum. And here, there is good internet penetration as well, where you can see our auto driver, he does not know English, but he can use an Ola app on his Android phone, and he listens to music. So they actually fall under India 2. The India 2 alone, if you take it as a separate country, it is around the size of Philippines when you look at the GDP and the per capita income. And then we have the real India. The real India where you have around 1.1 billion of the population who are not living in tier 1 cities. It is more like sub-Saharan Africa, excluding South Africa, with a GDP of 1 trillion, and the per capita income is as low as 80,000 to 1 lakh average. And that is India 3. So when you look at, so this is your typical India 2. The India 2 which kind of lies within India 1. And it has a whole different strategy you need to have if you are using digital marketing to reach this market, right? So when you look at India 2, so there are a lot of startups now focusing on India 2. So for example, there is an app called ShareChat. How many of you know ShareChat? Very few people. Probably like less than 10% of the people who are sitting here know about ShareChat. But ShareChat is like WhatsApp. If you install ShareChat, you can check it out today on your Android or on the App Store or on the Play Store. Download ShareChat, see what it is. Once you open it, it's like WhatsApp, but for non-English speaking population. There is no option of English in ShareChat. You can select Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Malayalam, some 20 different languages are available. There is an app called OK Credit. OK Credit is a Y Combinator startup. And nobody knows about OK Credit. Again, this app is focused on India too. So what I am seeing is that there is this huge opportunity in India too that nobody is looking at. And when you look at these startups like ShareChat and OK Credit, more often than not, one of the founders of these startups actually comes from India too. And they have done into like IITs or IIMs from a tier 2 city. So they understand that market very well. And there is still a huge untapped market when it comes to vernacular languages and the non-English population, which is India too. And this is the growth of internet users versus mobile internet from 2012 to 2016. So the statistics are a little bit, 10 to 20% discrepancy is there from every source. But by 2016, there are like 462 million internet users. So let's approximate at 500 million internet users. So here you see that there is a huge growth of mobile internet towards the end because of things like Geo and all the internet access coming in. And this orange line that you see, orange bar that you see, is desktop internet users. So my approximation is that 20% of the internet users have desktops, approximately 100 million out of the 500 million. So anybody who has a desktop computer or a laptop computer mostly would fall under India 1 category. So is there anybody here who does not have a desktop or laptop? You access internet only on mobile? We have only 2 people, right? So pretty much most of us here are categorized into India 1. we can communicate on English with English. And this is the target market for wherever you are working or whether you are having a startup. This is the target market that we are talking about. So India is similar to Mexico with metrics that matter for digital, and here is a little bit of a zoomed in comparison with India and Mexico. You have 110 million and 129 million population. Number of households is around the same. Car owners 32 million and 26 million. You have a number of credit card users 37 million and 30 million. Wi-Fi households 18 million and 15 million. So it's very important to understand that if you are having a product or service, whom are you really targeting? Don't think about the total market size as 500 million or a billion people. It's not the reality. You are targeting a very niche segment, which is less than 10% of the population in India. English speaking, has laptop or desktop, has access to Wi-Fi, and even out of that, you have only around 30% of the people who actually have credit cards. So this is what you are actually targeting, and as long as you keep these numbers real, and whether you throw these numbers in a job interview or whether you throw it to an investor if you are raising money for your startup, this is as real as it can get. So India 1 will go from Mexico to Brazil, around 210 million households in the next decade. So a bunch of people who end up learning English, who are like right now young, who are in college, and everyone will kind of come under the India 1 category in the next 10 to 20 years. But even in the next 10 to 20 years, we will not actually see a total market size of more than 210 million. So if you want to reach the rest of the market, you need to go vernacular languages completely. You need to actually understand the market, go actually into tier 2 cities, see who the customer is, see what the opportunities are there. And that's when you will be able to go ahead and actually penetrate this market. Like right now, when you look at the education market, you see there is a lot of vernacular language related courses and things are coming up. And you can actually end up creating $1 billion company, not even targeting at India 1. Just go vernacular languages. There is so much opportunity there, and people are not going to learn English overnight. You have the market out there, and nobody is touching it. And it is so surprising that every business owner, all of generally the kind of population we have here, everybody is just going ahead and fighting for this very small, less than 10% India 1 category, and the market is now getting like too competitive to a level where it's actually not even economically profitable to go ahead and try to advertise online. The unit economics are not working. The Flipkarts and the Olas and the Amazons of the world have basically over-invested here that it's difficult to penetrate the market. So here we are not even looking at digital marketing. We are not even looking at marketing. We are actually looking at the market first. So if you want to do marketing, before you do marketing, you need to understand your market, and that's what we are doing here. So that's one of the things I had as a focus for today, where we look at the real market and then we think about marketing, how to reach these people, how to communicate, and then you think about digital marketing. Like for example, ShareChat has an advertising platform. Nobody is talking about it in the India 1, right? They have a very heavy advertising platform, and a lot of FMCG products and a lot of products are being advertised on platforms like ShareChat. So scope of reaching customers via digital medium. So let's look at how do we reach these customers. So we have Facebook users. So 241 million total Facebook users. And out of the 241 million users, if you just target India 1, around 70 to 80% of India 1 you will be able to reach via Facebook. Then you will be able to reach India 2 and a little bit of India 3 as well. So India 2 mostly has mobile only internet access, and they have a little bit sophisticated mobile, something around 10 to 20,000 range. For example, if you go in an Ola Auto, that guy exactly fits under India 2. But you look at India 3, they have more like feature phones, 5,000, 6,000 rupee Android phones. They can still access Facebook, right? So that is why Facebook has 241 million internet users. There is a stat which says YouTube reaches 80% of the internet users in India. So we have around 500 million internet users in India. YouTube can reach 400 million of them. And when you look at India 1, around 70 to 80% of India 1 you will be able to reach via YouTube, but you will be able to reach a lot of other India 2 and India 3 as well. But that has to be regional languages, not via English. If you run YouTube ads with regional languages, you will be able to touch India 2 and India 3. So Google has 78% share in the search engines. So these are the big digital marketing channels. You have Facebook, you have YouTube, and you have Google Search and Google Display Network. If you use these 3 channels, pretty much the whole possibility of reaching people via digital can be covered. So quick recap, we have 500 million internet users, 100 million desktop internet users with Wi-Fi access and English proficiency. So YouTube alone can reach 80 million of the 100 million target, which is India 1, and Facebook can approximately reach 70 million of the 100 million India 1 users. So as entrepreneurs and as marketers, whenever you are looking at people around you, you should be able to tell India 1, India 2, or India 3. Now you can't take that out of your mind. You go and look at an auto wala using mobile phone, hearing music via Wink app and using Ola. Okay, this guy is India too. So you will get into that mindset. So now that we have talked about the actual market numbers, the actual market size, India 1, India 2, India 3, and if you are working for a brand as a marketer, and if you are trying to reach a larger audience, now traditional comes into play. And being an evangelist for digital marketer, there was a time where I used to over-evangelize digital marketing, thinking that traditional marketing will be dead. But let me get back to reality and tell you that we have a huge component in traditional marketing as well. Until what time we have? Five more minutes? Okay. So let's quickly go through some numbers. So Times of India has a readership of less than 10 million people, which is 3.2 million circulation. So every newspaper has around 3 readers. So Dainik Jharkhand, Dainik Bhaskar, and Times of India, they are the 3 major newspapers you have. So this actually reaches a huge percentage of people across India 1. And traditional still wins in terms of reach for brand awareness. Out of the 298 million households, 198 million has TV. So TV is still a major player when it comes to marketing. No matter how popular digital gets, TV is not going away. And around 198 million, actually 2018 statistics from one source says it's 197 million. So if you look at a readership of around 4 to 5 people for every TV in every household, you can actually reach the whole of the billion population in India just using TV. So so now I'm becoming more of a marketer than a digital marketer, because that's marketing. When you call yourself digital marketers, when you take the term digital marketing, be more of the marketer than the digital, because digital is just a medium, and we still have other mediums like this. So when you look at very big brands come up in no time, like Patanjali, and a lot of brands come up, BCCI is having so much traction. TV is something that you cannot ignore. And now, if you have seen the recent news, Netflix and Amazon Prime is now coming to Tata Sky. TV came to internet. Now internet is now coming to TV. And soon you will have a possibility where you can buy advertising slots on TV through digital to reach the India 2 and India 3 population, because people will be switching on their TV through Tata Sky and watching Netflix there. So India is very different. You can't just think that everybody will have internet, everybody will know English, and we have 1 billion people. And that's how today's startup work, right? Top 10 television channels India. So we don't have much time. I will quickly go through the next few slides. You can check it on Wikipedia. Sun TV is the largest TV network in Asia, and it has a viewership of 100 million. Digital marketing is an engagement medium. Digital is actually good when you have complex products and services where customer education has to happen. Otherwise, when it comes to FMCG and products which are more commoditized, you actually don't need digital at all to pass on the message and actually do advertising and marketing. If you have FMCG products, just advertise on TV. You don't even need to touch digital, and it pretty much reaches the whole country. So that's how it works, right? So the funnel-based digital marketing approach, you have awareness, interest, desire, and action. We don't have much time to go through it, but look up AIDA model on YouTube, and you will learn about this thing. And this is how we create proposals for all our clients. We put awareness, interest, desire, and action, and we put all the digital marketing channels. And we basically say that, okay, for your brand, the blog is going to build awareness, the email is going to intensify desire and promote action, Twitter is going to do interest wala thing, Instagram and Facebook will do awareness, Google cannot do awareness because it's not the top of the funnel, it's more like an inbound marketing medium. So this is something we have kind of crystallized over time. This is like a fancy graph. We actually customize it for every client where we say that, okay, you have an email list, you send out an email list to your blog, then someone shares it on social media, and then they share it on WhatsApp. So don't get too serious about it. You can just put a bunch of arrows all over the place and the client will be impressed. So this is not very accurate, but just put the arrows where you think for that particular client is going to be relevant. So how to monetize your DM skill? So we have talked about digital marketing. You can do freelance digital marketing work, get a digital marketing job, or you can start a blog, make money with affiliate marketing or selling your own products or services. These are the major 3 ways that you can monetize your digital marketing skill. And I do teach digital marketing around this as well. So quick inspiration. So this is MoEngage. I got an offer from MoEngage for 19 lakhs. And you can see that I quit in around March. And till now, the digital marketing manager position is open. And that is how much experienced digital marketing managers are actually in demand. And you can see, if I search digital marketing manager on LinkedIn, you have 986 results. And you have so many companies looking for digital marketers. Huge opportunity. 7 to 10 years experience, minimum salary is around 15 to 20 lakhs plus. And that's how hot the industry is in India right now. So you should definitely take possibility of working somewhere as a digital marketing manager as a serious thing if you are into digital marketing. I have a free digital marketing course. You can go to learndigitalmarketing.com and sign up for my course. I have an offer for people who are here today. So how many of you have already signed up for Digital Marketing Mastery Bundle? Okay, we have. So please mail me at Deepak@PixelTrack. I have a special offer for you for my next product. But for the others who have not signed up for my Mastery Bundle, you can go to bit.ly/CloudBazaar, note down the URL, and 7 courses worth 16,000. You can get it for 2,999. And that is something you can note down, bit.ly/CloudBazaar. So you also get 7 different certifications from me for course completion. This is how the certificate looks. So note it down, and I will see you on the other side. So thank you. And Deepak@PixelTrack is my email ID. Please mail me. And after this session, I will be around here, and we can do a little bit of interaction before I leave for the day. And thanks a lot. I hope the talk was useful.